This is the Automation Zone. In today's tutorial, we'll learn what is a tuple and how to use tuple in Python. In Python, when you're creating a program, you might require a whole range of values in order to run your program. These range of values can either be your strings, can be numbers, can be objects, can be basically anything. Now, usually what you do is you would have one variable to save each value. For example, here I have got 3 strings and I've got 3 variables to save my 3 strings. Now, an easier approach would be to have a particular data type which can hold or save all my values together. This particular data type is called as a tuple. To create a tuple, you simply have to give your values and separate them by a comma. So here what I'll do is I'm going to save my 3 values, or in this case these are my 3 strings, and I'm separating them by a comma. So in this case I have created a tuple. Now in order to save the tuple, you simply have to give a variable name. For here I'm going to give a variable name as t1 and I'm assigning the variable t1 to my tuple. Let me go ahead and print my tuple. Print t1, and if you see the output, you can see that this is one particular data type which holds all my 3 strings. Now the way you can identify a tuple is by these particular curve braces. This is also called as a parenthesis. Now, usually you would not see developers or programmers creating a tuple like this. By default, we usually use the curve brackets before and after a tuple. This is not required, but this is something which is a standard practice in Python programming. And if you run it, you can see the exact same output. By now you might have noticed that a list and a tuple in Python are very much similar. Where a list has got square brackets, your tuple has got your curve brackets. For example, if I were to change these curve brackets to a square brackets, t1 would become a list. The second difference is that in a tuple, once you assign the values or once you create a tuple, the values cannot be changed. So these values are static. This is not like a list. In list you can add or delete values anytime during your execution. This will make your tuple execution very much faster, but in the same way, on the flip side, tuple will have less methods compared to a list. In the example given, t1 is a tuple which is created by all the values as strings, but it need not be so. I can also have numbers. I can also have your Boolean expressions such as true and false. I can also have objects. I can have list inside of my tuple, or I can have a tuple inside of my tuple as well. So everything is applicable for a tuple. Now a very important thing which you should know is a tuple with only one value is not a tuple. For example, if I have a tuple here with only one value inside of it, and if I print it as given below, it is not going to print for me a tuple but the element itself. In order to prove this further, what I can do is I can print the type of, put this down, of the variable t1, and if you see the type, apple is going to be a string. Therefore, this particular t1, although I have put it inside of my brackets and I've assigned it as a tuple, just because it has only one value, it is not a tuple anymore. Now in order for you to create a tuple with only one value, it is important that you put a comma. So the moment you put a comma, and if you run it, now you'll see that apples is now surrounded by a brackets and the class becomes a tuple. So just make sure that when you're creating a tuple, you do not have only one value, and if you do require a tuple with only one value, you put it with a comma. Yes, you can create a tuple which is completely empty, that is applicable. Now we learn how to retrieve values from a tuple. The technique of retrieving values from a tuple is exactly same as that of a list. So let me first create a tuple again having the exact same values, which are apples, oranges and grapes. Now in this case, each and every element inside of my tuple has an index. If you're going from the first to the last, you have indexes starting from 0, then 1 and then 2. If you're going in the reverse order, you have indexes starting from -1, -2 and -3. If you want to know more about indexes, I'm giving the link below that will teach you more about indexes in the chapter of list. Now, in order to access the individual element, you have to type these square brackets and give your index inside of your square brackets. Therefore, I'm giving the index 0. The output should be apples. Let me remove this. Now, either I can give the index with the list itself, or I can give it with the variable which contains the list. So when I run it, you'll get the exact same output. Let me also put in the index 2, which has the value grapes, and the index has -1, which also has the value grapes. If you give an index which does not exist, for example the index 3, it is going to give you the error which is out of range. Let me put here 1 again. Earlier on in the video, I did mention that a tuple is immutable. Let us now try to prove this. What I'll do is I will take the element with the index 1, which contains oranges, and let me try to change it to a new fruit called mangoes. And let me go ahead and print the exact same list again to see if the change is reflected. And as you see, you get the error that this particular operation is not supported. But if I change a tuple to a list, just by changing the brackets, we shall see that the output now has mangoes instead of oranges. This proves that if you're using a list, it gives you the opportunity to change the individual elements. But if you're using a tuple, changes are not allowed. Therefore, a tuple is immutable. Let me remove this line now. We will now look at a few basic methods which are used when dealing with tuples. These are given above. The first one we'll look is len. So let me give a few spaces so it's easy for you to view it. So to use len, give len. And inside of your brackets, you have to type in your tuple. Now len is going to give you the total number of elements which are present inside of your tuple. When you run it, you shall see the output is 3 because my tuple has got 3 elements. If it had one more element like this, it would throw me the output has 4. The next one is count. Count is basically going to tell me the total number of similar elements present inside of my tuple. For example, if I would do your t1 dot count, and inside of this if I would type in the value oranges, since I have only one oranges inside of my tuple, you can see the output is going to be 1. But if I had 2 instances or 2 elements having the value oranges, you can see the output is going to be 2. Therefore, it's going to count the total number of elements which are present, same elements which are present inside of my tuple. The next one is max and min. Now, for this we have to use numbers. Imagine and I had a tuple that consists of numbers like 10, 20 and 30. And if I wanted to find the maximum of all of these 3 numbers, I would just type in max and I would give the tuple inside of it, which is t1. And if you see the output, you can see the output is 30 because 30 is the maximum number in my tuple. Minimum is going to do the exact opposite. Now the last one is tuple. The command tuple is used to convert a collection into a tuple. Now collection here, which is widely used, is a list. So if this was a list and I wanted to convert this list into a tuple, only thing I would have to do is I would have to type the command called tuple and put my list inside of the tuple. Now you can either put a list directly inside of the command tuple, or you can give a variable that contains the list. So let me go ahead and print t1. And if you see the output, t1 is going to be a tuple and not a list, because the command tuple is going to convert a list into a tuple. That is it for this tutorial on tuples. In the next tutorial, we'll be talking about what is packing and unpacking of a list and tuple in Python. If you have any questions in this tutorial, do comment below, I'll help you out. If you like the series on Python, do show your support by liking and sharing this video and subscribing to my channel. Thank you all for watching.